Welcome to the YouTube channel of Verve Corporation, makers of revolutionary document capture software. This channel is dedicated to educating users of Verve Capture and the information capture industry. This is the third video in the Verve Developer series. In the previous videos, we built the key from paper version of the contest entry application and then configured the import settings. This video will continue the development of the contest entry application by adding key from image capabilities. As always, if you have not watched the previous videos, it is highly recommended that you watch them now and come back to this video afterwards. Basically, to convert a key from paper application to a key from image application, all you have to do is add zones to the fields. Of course, to do this in design, we first have to load an image into the content viewer. To load an image into the content viewer, simply double-click on the background of the data entry form. This will bring up the interface properties. Then, click on the Content Viewer tab. Then, click on the Browse button and find your setup image. After the image loads, change the zoom setting to what is needed in entry. Big enough so that the users can read the data, but not too big that the user will lose context of where they're at within the overall form. Now that we have our setup image loaded, go ahead and single click on a data entry field. Those are the purple boxes in the data entry form. To add a zone, simply right click and rubber band the area on the image that you want to associate with that field. This creates a zone. Remember, in Verve Design, right click creates things, left click selects things. So just like when we were creating fields, we right clicked and dragged. Here we're going to right click and drag the content viewer to create the zone. Go ahead and zone the remaining fields. When you're zoning fields, make sure that the zone is big enough to allow for differences during the scanning process. For example, a piece of data may actually show up a little bit higher or a little bit lower than what you expect. And that's it. You are done. You have now created a key from image application within Verve. Save your application and then we'll test it. To test your application, we have to create a batch with images and process that batch through the workflow to the entry step. Previously, we have configured the acquisition settings to allow this application to import images into a batch. To verify that the workflow is configured properly, double-click on the application name in the Application Explorer. This will bring up the Application Properties window. Click on the Workflow tab and you will see that our default workflow is enabled and only contains the entry and export steps. This is all we need to test a key from image application. To create the test batch and get this process started, find the purple button at the top of Design labeled Create Batch and press it. If your test images are in the correct directory and your acquisition settings are configured properly, a test batch will be created and it will process through to the entry step. To start testing your application, open Verve Entry and make sure that the entry button is green. Then, click on your contest entry application within the Select Application window. When you do this, the Select Batch window will only show the contest entry batches that are ready in the entry step. This includes the test batch that you just created in Design. When you hit Enter to get any of these batches, or when you click on a specific batch and hit Enter, you will immediately start this batch in Entry. As you key the batch, notice that the zone in the content viewer moves from field to field. This was the third video in the application development series. We hope that you like it and found it helpful. And if you did, please like and subscribe. To learn more about Verve application development, please watch our series on data validation using our no-code validation stories.